Welcome back to Dan's Messy Garage. This is going to be day 16 working on the 302 budget build. Yesterday I got my balancer and pointer relationship verified. And I was thinking of putting a pointer over on this side of the engine, but with the radiator hose here, power steering pump, and air conditioning compressor, I don't think I'm ever going to see that. But I'm pretty sure in all the cars I worked on, you can see the bottom. You might have to lay on the ground and look under there to verify the timing, but I'm going to make a pointer right under here. Just got to figure out the easiest way to do it. I have some oil pan bolts on each side of the balancer. I can put little tabs on them and a little piece of metal coming down with a pointer on it. Let's see, how else could I do that? I could try just good old JB weld. Just take like a 90-degree angle bracket, glue it right to the front of the oil pan. You know what? That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to JB weld something onto the oil pan. The way I make little brackets and things is with CAD, cardboard aided design. I got these file folders I use for, obviously this one was used for blocking something as I was painting it. But I'm just going to take, figure out, I probably only need this section in here. So just cut a piece out of here. And I'm going to bend it up to what I want. I'm figuring okay. That's going to go on there. Go there. There. So I have a pointer. Two flat tabs I can JB weld right to the oil pan. And it's a little bit long. Yeah. So I need to shorten that. Bend it. See, that looks perfect. So, now to make this, it's pretty simple, isn't it? I'm just going to unfold this the way it was. There's my blank. Cut that shape out of steel, slice it. I can bend it that way, bend it this way, and then it glues on just like that. And then I can look from underneath and see that pointer. So, I'm going to turn this cardboard into a metal one. Got my supplies ready. Got a scrap piece of steel, my template, marker, tin snips, starting fluid to clean up. Yeah, I was just going to clean the area I'm working on, but these will wipe the rest of it off. What that is all paint dust, Bondo dust. You know, it floats around in the air, lands on everything in my garage. Alright, that's good enough. Yeah, this has already had a bend through here. I'm going to leave that alone though. Put this here. That hole there is not going to bother me. So I'm going to lay it down right there. Trace around it. None of this has to be extremely accurate either. Because all I care about is the point right here. And I'm going to split it right there and fold it across there. And then it's folded right down here. Okay, cut her out. Alright, one more cut here. There. Now I just need to bend this like that. Oh, actually, like this. And then same thing over here. There's my pointer. It's going to be mounted like that, and I'm going to be looking up from the bottom to see that tip. Easy for me would be just throw this in my sandblaster, blast the paint off, and paint it, and then glue it on to the front of the engine. That's going to go right under here. I can do it that way too. This way. No, I don't like that as much as this. Yeah, that gives me good visibility of the point. In fact, if I take modify first modification, my end frame, I'm going to knock these two corners off of here. In fact, I should knock them all off so you don't get stabbed. And now that's going to allow me to get that up higher. Perfection. Alright, I'm going to go sandblast this, paint it, and then I dry the paint with a heat gun, and then I could glue it on there. Instead of JB Weld, I think I'm just going to use the right stuff. That silicone RTVs. That stuff really holds in well, and it dries quick, so sandblast time. There it is, the bare metal bracket now. Clean it off with some brake clean, paint it. I'm just going to use some Rust-Oleum 2X satin It's like a gray or granite color. Leftover paint, and use it up. Spray-elate this, take it outside, nice day, and then I can bring this in and take my heat gun and kind of bake the paint on, make it dry fast. I already made a revision to it. I painted it silver, Ace Hardware metallic silver paint, because the dark gray held it up the engine and I didn't like it. So I'm going to be crawling under the car looking up. I need some good contrast. So it's silver now. I'm going to put the intake on now. It's been sitting over there drying from the paint, and I'm calling it good enough. Get all the tape off. I have different intake gaskets. In fact, I think I have 3 sets. They're all Felpro. They all have different numbers on them. So I'm going to get them and see which ones match the ports the best. Yeah. I'm comparing the R4 to the R8. And it looks like the difference is the water port on the end here. This one, R8, has a lot bigger hole, which matches the head nicely. Let's see how it matches the intake. I'll be right back. All right, I did some more playing off camera here. Bottom line, they all would work. The only difference is out here on the water port, and that's another instance where the water port in the manifold is smaller than this opening, so it doesn't matter. I'm going with R9 Felpro 90103-1. Now you want to get into an argument with a bunch of people? Start talking about, you put the head gasket or the intake gasket on dry, or do you spray something on it? Do you rub something on it? Do you use anything on it? I'm going to say most people agree that you put something around the ends where the water would be, and really nothing in the between the manifold here, just like that. One thing that I like is, instead of like gluing things on, you just put a thin coat of oil. That'll prevent it from sticking, supposedly. The thin main layer of oil may even help with sealing a vacuum leak. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put oil on the gaskets, RTV on the ends. I do not use those cork China wall gaskets that go here. I just use a bead of the right stuff. Put a bead on here, bead on the intake, let it set up, drop it on. Now when I drop it on, I use some cut off bolts. I cut the heads off bolts. Right thread. Yes, that's just a piece of all thread there. But if you put these in some of the holes, the intake's going to go straight down. So I got all different sizes. In fact, I could do it on the 4 corners. Yeah. Okay, I yacked enough. Time to get working. Oh, yeah. I'm going to do something else first, though. I'm going to prime the engine again. I got my drill stuck down the distributor hole. It's on the oil pump shaft. And I'm going to spin it. I want to see oil come out of all 16 rockers. Yep, got them all. Looks like I had about 58 pounds of oil pressure. That's excellent. Let's see if I can verify that. I might have another oil gauge I can put in there. Yeah, I found 2 more. I got this old Stuart Warner 90-degree swing. I got, can't read the name, No Shook, made in Germany. But I would have to get some adapters. Well, let's see what this one does. Because this auto gauge said 58. Looks like that's at about 70. You guys tell me what you think. Okay, who's lying? Is this guy lying or is the other guy lying? I suppose I could see if I have a fitting and see if we get even a third reading. Digging through a bunch of fittings, different places, different boxes, but I think I found something that'll work. Got a pipe nipple, that thing, this fitting, and the oil pressure line will go on there. So I just need to pipe dope all this up, tighten it, give it a test. Okay, I got the No Shook made in Germany gauge in there. So far we had a 58, about a 70. See what we get now. You know, from my angle view, it looked like 60. I have to play the video back and see for myself. I cleaned off the paint above the ports on the heads, and I'm going to block off these exhaust crossover passages. They go through the intake to heat up the carburetor. I'm going to be driving this mainly in summer. So I got these little plates. Can't even remember making them. I had them so long. And I'm just going to like put some, stick them on there. Just long enough to hold them in position. And when the bolts go through, it traps it. They don't fall off. I'll just put a little dab of the right stuff on there. Just to glue it in position for now. This is what I'm going to be gluing that timing point around with too. And I'm going to be using this to build up these channel walls. Stick that right there. This one right here. Just like that. I'm going to get ready, prepare the intake and gaskets and install it. Kind of tough to see under there, but I got my second timing pointer RTV to the oil pan, a couple pieces of tape to hold it in position, and I need to run up to Tractor Supply and buy some bolts because I don't have enough bolts for the intake. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Road trip time. And I'm also going to get something to eat. Crap. Thought I had the camera running and I didn't. But I just dropped the intake down, my guide pins. I've got the RTV China walls on both the intake and the engine. See it oozing out in the back real good here. Got the water ports RTV'd. And I got to find my bolts and torque that down. This is the end of part 16 of working on a budget 302 in Dan's Messy Garage. Please stay tuned to my channel for more parts and episodes on this engine. Bye.